Okay, hi, it's Caroline here, or Kay. Anyway, I'm here. I'm going to give you a tiny tour of my work area. This is a workspace right in my basement, and I have a finished basement, but this area I share with the laundry room. It is not finished. This is my work table, one of my work tables, right? I think it's a 7 foot by about 4 foot space table, and this is where I work. And this is a wall I stare at. I had quite a few things sticking on it, and I removed them. I shouldn't have removed it because I would have liked to give a before and after. But anyway, this is the space I look at when I'm working, and I really can't stand it. And because I can't finish my laundry room right now, I have to just fix it just so that I can at least bear to look at it. Okay, so I just want to show you what that looks like right now. Okay, I'll give you a long shot of it. That's my part of my space that I use and share with my laundry room. Okay, but right there, yeah, that's my space. It extends, but this is where I'm going to be working on right now. Okay. Okay. So what I always like to do is, because I always have some kind of a foundation. I know what I'm doing, but I know that as you go along, things always have a tendency to change. You see things and it doesn't work. You make a mistake and you say, "Oh wow, that's a great mistake." Some of the best things for me is to make a mistake. It usually is sometimes a really good or positive mistake. So what I've done so far is I've put up foam boards on the wall, and I just like to do that, and then I take a walk back and forth. I don't always just do it and then my plan, because sometimes it doesn't always look good. So I put it on. I put there's 1, 2, 3. I've laid it down vertical, horizontal, and vertical, but I have a space in between, right? So I am going to, my assistant is sleeping, still sleeping. So I'm working to one hand as usual. So I'm just slipping that right in between that little space there, okay? Right here and right there. And hopefully it'll stay. Okay, so there. So what I will do is I will leave it for a while, and I will, come back and forth. So there it is. So of course I'll have to fix down here. I'll have to add another piece on down here. On the other side also, I have to add another piece of foam board. But this is the area I want, because this is the area I work at. So it's right around the same length as the table. It runs the length of the table. Yeah, and then we'll work down here. I'm going to work down here and cover down there too. Yeah, so that at least will look nice, right? When you're working, you want the place to look nice. So I put it up. I had to change it a couple of times because they weren't even. So let me go back up and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here is the bottom here. I had to apply another piece like down here and over here. I had to cut it to fit, and so that's where I am right now. So I'm pretty much finished. I just have to do this part here, but this is what it's going to look like. And so I've also labeled, this is going to be my on my left side of my wall, and I've put left here, if you can see left, and then it's going to go this way. So I put arrows showing where it's going to go. So when you take it off, you remember, right? Label them all so you know, so you won't get confused. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Whenever I'm going to cut anything and I need it's long and it's straight, I always use my T-square, because it just gives me the assurance that it's going to be straight. And I always line up if you can see here, I've lined up the side of my adhesive with the very straight edge of my mat board, because I know that it's going to give me a straight cut as long as I line it up. Right. If I hadn't touched a certain particular side, I use that as my guide to line it up. I don't normally use the edge because it's not really straight. I've marked, as I said earlier, my width. So I'm using my T-square to draw a straight line all the way down to as far as I need to go. Okay, so I'm getting a straight line. Okay, two very straight strips by using my mat board. I'm using my mat board and my T-square to get a straight line, right? Okay. Okay, so I got two straight strips. That's why I love using the T-square. Okay, so now all I have to do now is grab my straight edge or my metal ruler, line it up with my lines I just made, and I'm just going to cut. Okay, straight down. The wonderful thing about metal rulers is that you can just slide your hands down as you go the length of your line. You can, I'm going to do another cut. That's the beauty of the metal ruler. Notice how my hands slide all the way down? Because I have to keep pressure on it so it doesn't move. And my strip is cut. Okay, it's done. Okay, so now I'm going to make the side panels for this now. Okay, this strip. Okay, so I'm going to make the side piece to cover the side of my panel. So I don't want to use the raw edges. I don't want to use the raw edges. You know, the raw edges never looks good. So what I've done is I folded over. I made the strips big enough so that I can fold it over and have enough paper still left over to cover my sides. Okay, so what I've done is I've just folded like this. And I'm going to do another side like this. Okay, I usually start from the middle. I'm a person that likes to start from the middle. Whenever I'm making these little things, I always start from the middle. If you notice, watch any of my other videos, whenever I'm doing anything, folding over long strips, I always start from the middle. I don't know why, it just is easier for me to start from the middle. Okay, so I just make a score fold in the paper. I follow my last fold. And this piece is going to go just like this. Okay, so we're going to cover this up by placing this like that. Rather than getting a piece and doing it just like this, then it doesn't look as attractive. You know what I mean? So folding it over gives it some kind of a decorative look while still trying to hide the sides. So it's going to be like this. And I'm going to wrap the end around it. Yeah, I'm going to wrap the end around it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so just give me a minute. The nice thing about this too is that if you're folding and you want to fold, you have lines to guide you. So once I fold it, I'm just going to peel off. You see how nice and easy that is to peel off? You don't have to worry. It doesn't flip back over. See? Throw that on the floor there. And it's like, this reminds me of vinyl. It's almost like vinyl. You know? That's what it's like. And then I'm just going to fold over. Try follow your fold and just fold down. You might get some bubbles, but you can pop them later. But try not to get any bubbles. That's one thing about this though, it does you have to be careful. When you're folding it, it does give a little bit of a problem. But other than that, it's not a bad product. Like I said earlier, notice that there are lines here. There are lines. So you can go along with the lines and do your fold. Makes it easier. Use these measurements while you fold. And you might notice that you might have two different size folds. Doesn't matter, because once you turn it over, you won't know the difference. Okay, that they're both different fold sizes. Okay. I reuse my scraps. I put my scraps together with masking tape, or you could use stick them together with hot glue. And I just reuse them, right? Or if, well, I do reuse them, because what I do is I take it, and if I made something before, and it can be reused, and I just reuse them. I just use masking tape and stick it on. That's the wonderful thing about foam board, right? So I'm just going to stick it on here. Already taken off the backing, and stick it down, and hopefully that's all straight and nice. I'm not going to touch it because I'm pretty sure it's all smooth at the back, and that's going to bring up the sides. Just like this. Pull it when you pull it, pull it, pull it. So after I fold these over, I try to cut it off at the corners like this. Because if you put it over like this, it won't stick. And even if it wasn't like a sticky paper, I always cut the corners. It leaves it less bulky. So what I do is I just, if you can see, I always cut it along like this, right at the corner. Take it off, and this way I could even cut it off a little bit more. And that way I can just fold it down, just like that. And fold it over. Well, remember, this is going in your basement. You want it as nice as possible, but you also want to save things. You don't want to throw. These are pretty good pieces of foam board. And it's done, right? Just like that. Simple, isn't it? All right? You have a nice smooth surface. Here I am. I'm sitting in front of that ugly wall that I showed you before. That wall that I had to sit in front of when I was doing any one of my projects. Now hear this sigh. That feels wonderful, I'm telling you. So here it is. I'm done. I've done a panel, a row of panel along the upper wall, and just down below I also did a long, more of a vertical horizontal panel, and it says no stopping now. Okay, and that's right, no stopping now. I made a little drawer shelf. I call it a drawer shelf. I had some leftover bling, and I used it to decorate this drawer shelf. What I use to stick it up and keep on the wall are upholstery tacks. I got them from Walmart, pretty cheap actually, and I just use them as decorative elements to add to this wall panel made of foam board. Okay, so this is it. And so when I sit here, I can do my work and I feel good. But one other thing, I will be completing this and I want to show my results again on my next tutorial. So I hope you keep an eye out for that. So it's not totally completed. I am going to add some more door shelves, and that's all I'm going to do. But if I did this and I added it, it would be too long. You know, not everyone likes to watch long videos, okay? So keep an eye out for that, okay? Thank you for watching. Bam, that's done. My son singing, just ignore him, okay? Because I don't know. Anyway, oh, you want to hear him sing? Listen. Anyway, we'll continue. I'm not going to cut it out. I'm really not. Anyway, I've also made a nice shelf. I call it a shelf. What do I call it again? Oh boy, he's really listen to him. My daughter was just walking up the stairs a while ago making noise, and now he's singing. Okay, I'm gonna cut and do it again.